Aloha everyone, this is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with your after the eclipse, the next 6 months reading. So we're going to look into the energies of the next 6 months. I already did this reading and there was no sound. So my new microphone didn't pick up any of the sound. So that's very interesting. So on those first messages, we had the visuals in, but we did not have any sound in. So very, very interesting for the collective. So we have now, we're past the eclipse cycle. This is being filmed on the 5th of October. The last eclipse was on the 2nd, excuse me. Yes, thank you. And so now we're past that point. Now the eclipse energies last for 6 months until the next round. Okay. And so we're going to look at what are the energies for us collectively and any messages we can get about how to use this eclipse energy. Now, the last eclipse was in Libra, which had to do with our relationships and partnerships and how do we relate to other people. And eclipses eclipse people in and out, and sometimes people that we love very much, but it may just be a season that is no longer appropriate to act in the same way, or you're changing so radically, excuse me, in your identity that that it requires a whole new set of habits, people, belief systems, and it's really okay. It's expanding us into the new and making space for what is correct for this next part of life. Excuse me, my dog's barking. Before we get started with the reading, I do want to say thank you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for hitting that bell button. All those things help my channel to grow and expand, as well as until November 19th, till Pluto goes direct in Aquarius, I am offering my coaching services and readings for donation. So pay what you can, just because we are all going through quite a transformational process right now. And it would be better to have a session and pay what you can than to not, right? So, so please do email me in the comments below, or excuse me, in the description box below is my email, and that will direct you to how you can just email me and we'll set up a time for you. Okay, let's get to it. Boop, that one. Yes, all right, we got the threshold as our archetype. Let me get a Beyond Lemuria card and then we'll start getting into the reading. Okay, so we're definitely at the threshold, okay, collectively and individually. Radical expansion. Wowza, wowza. Okay. We're on the threshold of radical expansion here, okay? Excuse me. The threshold is akin to the gateway rune. When you're at the threshold, you are moving from one life to the next. You're moving from one way of being to the next. And this is beingness, okay? It can include brand new relationships. It can include brand new projects. It can include a new endeavor in life. But it is moving into the unknown. Hold, please. Okay, so excuse me, my dog's barking a little bit. So we had, interestingly enough, a new, my landlord has a new landscaper that showed up, and we weren't prepared for it, right? So we're just talking about the thresholds of the new. So we have new landscapes coming in. We have new life, new people, and it can be that parts of us will be a bit protective of that, okay? She's doing her job as a dog to protect our space and make sure that everything's okay, and to make sure I'm okay, she's okay, that we're protected. That's part of one of her gifts and abilities as a dog, right? And so here we have the threshold, all new, okay? But before you move into the new, it's like the gateway rune. So the gateway rune, before you jump into the new, you really review everything in your life up until now. the positives and the negatives, and you integrate the positive learnings before making that empty-handed leap into the void and into the new life. Okay? It is radical expansion. Dragon energies here. We are in the year of the dragon through December. So for the next few months of this 6-month cycle, we'll be in year of the dragon. Then we move into year of the snake. Okay. This is radical expansion from the heart chakra. Okay, really expanding into the heart, into life, into new beingness, into your purpose, into what you're going to do, who you're going to be, and expanding into the authenticity of who you are. Okay, the next 6 months is a huge expansion. And it's an expansion that really opens the heart chakra to new energy, to light energy, in combination with the darkness. So you're moving from the darkness to the light, but remember, darkness and light are a bonded pair. So anything that we renounce about the other outside of us or about ourselves, anything that we ignore or don't accept or don't integrate, we're going to see that outside the other, right? Because there is no other. Everyone who is outside of you is a part of you. It's a hologram that we live in. So they're just pieces of you in different forms. And so however we show up for each other is really just the perception of one to the other. It's not actually who the other person is, right? And so that's the thing to look at, is if there's something that you admire in another person, integrate that into yourself. Okay, you guys, I had to get another mic. Let me make sure that it's on. Okay, so I was just saying, if there's something that you admire in another person, to integrate that, okay? The sound cut off right when I was saying, and if there is something that you feel is dark about another or you don't like about the other, integrate that. So there's an objection here collectively to actually be in the balance of the light and the dark, okay? We are all one. So all the reflections that we see outside of us are us, right? So if you see something in another, good or bad, if you spot it, you got it, okay? And so in this next 6 months, part of that expansion is integrating all the pieces of yourself, okay? Choosing what your standards are, how you're going to show up in the world, but integrating those pieces. So it's so interesting that the message that was willing to be heard, okay, this now makes my 3rd time having to come back in to edit this video, where the sound cuts off right at the pieces of integrating what we call the dark part of ourselves, okay? Light without a ground, light is electricity. What happens if light does not have a ground? It burns and fries everything up around it, okay? I'm at the place now at having to do this 3 different times. We are at radical expansion. It is time to take personal responsibility to stop shaming the dark parts of ourselves and realize that's another side of God, source, and universe, okay? This is coming through very, very clearly. I keep looking down to make sure that my microphone is still on, okay? The dark, Po, which is original darkness, that which is unmanifest, the magnet, the vortex, the electricity does not run without the magnetism. We are electromagnetic beings. A child cannot be born into this realm without a womb. Your creation cannot be born without the womb. It is never without light, even when you're in the dark. Dark is the concentration of light. So take that which you have judged about yourself or about the other person and integrate that this next 6 months. That's the threshold. That's the radical expansion. Integrate it. I'm in this process with you. This message is going straight to me just as much as it is to everyone else. Okay, I've been in a dark spot of that womb space. The level at which you experience light, joy, lightness, a win, everything going for you, that's the level of darkness that you've experienced as well. It is cycles, day and night, yin and yang, light and dark, because they're all one unit. It's one mechanism, okay? It's one part of whatever part you're playing is one part of a larger whole, okay? A larger completion. It's one note in a harmony. If we are only doing light, high note, okay, that could sound like whistle screeches, okay, through time. Like a Mariah Carey high note whistle screech or Ariana Grande high note whistle screech, okay, whistle note might sound cool for a moment, okay, but if that's your whole life, that's going to start to hurt the ears. On the flip side, the dark bass note that you drop down to, you know, like those pirate songs that sounds really cool. Let that be your whole life. You're going to start to feel like you're drowning, okay, in a way. And so it has to be the combination of the notes. Each person being in their specific note, their specific octave, their specific place and time to create the resonance, to create the harmony, to create the octave, okay? So when you are in this next 6 months, when you're moving through a down phase, know that you are holding a note or a space that is helping someone else, to that other part of you, to create the high space for themselves. When you're at a high space, know that someone else is having their low space, okay? And there's no wrong to that. It is all perfect. I feel like we want to wash over in the pattern when people are going through the lower place. You don't stay there forever, but there's learning there. And if we can integrate the two and let it be on a quicker cycle, okay, then you're going to have your light and your dark throughout the day. And they're going to work together step by step like a team. But when we ostracize, when we isolate, that's been my mojo, is to isolate when I'm in a darker spot. It makes you stay in it longer, okay? And then there's no movement. Too much light, zing, 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 everything lights on fire, then you've got fires to put out, okay? Too much dark, boom, 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 that leads to depression, kind of black hole energy. Together, it makes the wheel that keeps things moving. Okay, so thank you. Mike's still on. Excited about that. So next 6 months, please do take this time to integrate the light and the dark pieces of yourself, knowing that they are both God, source, universe, or Gus, as my auntie calls it, God, universe, source. Talk to Gus today. Okay, here we go. So next 6 months, we've got house 10, structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. That is Capricorn and Saturn. Pisces, we have intimacy, intuition, and compassion. And Gemini, curiosity, intellect, and networking. So in the next 6 months, we're going to be really coming into your mission. You're at that threshold to come into your mission, to add structure. Discipline is going to be required here. There are going to be accomplishments. How do we accomplish it? By integrating the light and the dark, letting them work together as a bonded pair instead of separating them. We don't separate. We bring together. Okay? We have Pisces, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. Beautiful energy here. This is the mix of the discipline of Capricorn and the intuitive qualities of Pisces. We are also finishing out the era of Pisces, the age of Pisces, and moving into age of Aquarius. We are finishing out Pluto's 16 years in Capricorn, which is house 10 energy. Okay, top-down systems. Pisces was meant to expand. So now this is going to be communicated about. We have Gemini here. Next 6 months, in this threshold and radical expansion, you're moving into a new way of communicating, new structures, new accomplishments. It does require discipline, and it does require intimacy. Into me, I see intimacy. So everyone that you're with is a reflection of you. Okay? Whether they be any one of the cards, right? So we've got diamonds, we've got clubs, we've got spades, we've got hearts, okay? Or in the tarot, that would be cups, cups, pentacles, wands, and swords, okay? We have all of the elements. And each of us has a place in those elements, a message. Sometimes the message is what we would consider good. Sometimes the message is bad. Either way, it's neutral. It's just information. So this is a step up to radically expand in our dreams. And those dreams require intimacy. Those dreams require connection. And I'm not talking about intimacy. It can be sexual intimacy. But this intimacy is actually looking into yourself, your connections, having compassion with one another, having compassion with yourself as you move through these processes. In the next 6 months, we're all moving into something completely new. So we have curiosity, intellect, and networking. If you can have the energy of curiosity, if you can come into this frame curious and like a child, willing to learn new things, to network with others. The age of Aquarius is no longer about intellectual top-down leadership or academia, okay? What this is in Aquarius is round table, the circle of energy, give and receive information, each individual being in their authority, each individual being in their right relation to self, sharing what they know, reading their own spinal cord, or iwikua mo'o, as it's called in Hawaiian, showing up as self, offering self as a contribution in whichever way or information that you have, becoming an authority, not looking to others as the authority. So we're going to share and structure differently these next 6 months. Remember, it's a roundtable discussion. It is a roundtable energy. Everyone has value. Everyone has a contribution to make. So part of the threshold is showing up and offering yourself as a contribution. What you have learned throughout the years, what your expression is, and not expecting the other person to yield to your rule or expression, but just offering it. And then somewhere in that combination will be what works for you moving forward. How you're going to structure your new life, your business, your love life, your energy, your health, okay? All right. We do have great energies coming in. Okay. I'm going to get a few more cards and then we're going to wrap it up. All right. There is, you're really on a threshold here of entering into new business, following your call, following your mission. You're getting a new mission. We have the moon here. Okay. As overall energy, this is that which is hidden. So you're on the threshold of opening that which is hidden underneath this Emperor. Okay. The first row coming into this first, you know, the first 2 months is 10 of Earth, Empress, and the call. Okay. 10 of Earth is 10 of Pentacles. You're moving into your energy of your calling. This is judgment. You've had a wake-up call. There's been information from Spirit. Some of you are going to be entering into a new mission within yourself, a new calling. We have Empress energy and the exaltation of the divine feminine. In the first 2 months, you're going to have the Empress energy, which is the culmination of all 4 queens. It is the integration of the aspects of all 4 queens and building an empire for yourself, whatever that looks like. That can be energetic, that can be physical business, that can be your health. This is you and your Empress energy. Male or female matters not, because we also have the Emperor here. What's hidden after this 6 months is the combination of the Emperor and the Empress being balanced in your divine masculine and divine feminine. So the new callings here, the 10 of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It says that all of your emotional, mental, and physical needs and resources are available and in abundance. 10s are abundant energy. It's excess and extra. And so this is saying that you are going to have a new calling. That's the threshold. You're radically expanding. Some of you will radically be expanding in your finances. You're going to have the idea of, this is what I'm moving into. This is what is correct for me. This is what I am and be. And excellent. Great job. That's what the first 2 months will be. Okay. You're going to be putting the structures in place that for this new calling and this new mission. The next 2 months of the 6 months, we have 8 of air, 5 of water, and 2 of air. Okay. This can look like some overthinking. We might have some regrets looking at the past because there's so much changing. And we have the 2 of air, which says you don't really know which direction to go. This is midway through your change for the next 6 months. Okay. This is natural. It's very natural. Remember, we're integrating the cycles. It's very natural that once you have a burst of energy, a win, you have new information, a new mission coming in, the things that you need to do and want to do, you're putting together the structures in place, having the discipline to come upon some overthinking, to come upon a little bit of doubt. But what this says is because you're aware of it, you can recognize that it's part of the cycle, integrate it, and go from there. When you start to have times of overthinking or doubt, you can look at yourself and say, you know, how is this change serving me? Okay. What don't I see right now? What ways can I take the blinders off so that I can see more clearly? What questions do I need to ask of those around me, those in my network? What questions do I need to ask that will help me to see more clearly? Okay. So, you know, so October, November, we've got things moving here. December, January, there might be a little bit of confusion. There's some questions coming up about how do I move this forward? What are the next steps? How do I maintain my vision? How do I maintain my structure? What am I not seeing? Okay. Yeah. And then February, March, before we go into our next eclipse season, we have Fool, we have the Magician, and the Star. So through those questions, through that womb moment, the previous 2 months, out comes a brand new beginning. You're going to have the answers that you need to fully take that leap of faith. We have the Magician. Okay, so this is a progression. You start off as the Fool, and then the next step is the Magician. The Magician has all the tools it needs. It's a novice. It's not the sorcerer. It's the Magician. Okay, like this is the acolyte. This is the making the leap of faith. This is the Magician that has all the tools available for the manifestation, for the new life that you've created in this 6 months, and now you're working with it. We have the Star. Many of you will have, again, accolades. You're going to be seen. You're going to have a larger network than what you maybe thought of previously. You're going to be activated in a new way. There's healing here, where before, during your expansion, you might have had the previous 2 months a little bit of energy that was off balance, or as you're moving through that threshold and radically expanding, any relationships or situations or structures that needed to be healed, now they will be. You're going to be seen, heard, acknowledged. And some of you, that is actual fame. So this could look like a project that you'd worked on where you expanded into actually moving into that higher level of not just consciousness, but higher level of followers. If you're an influencer, that seems to be big online, or if you've made a business investment, this is the recognition and growth stage that brings you this influx of money, recognition, new life, and radical expansion. So remember, it's through the integration. It's through the working with the opposites, allowing yourself to stay, allowing yourself to be uncomfortable as you are moving into the unknown, because this is a whole new expansion. This is a new octave. In the realm of spirit, we are always at the beginning. Okay, you won't be confused forever. You will be having the light, and it's going to go in a flow here, where what needs to be revealed for you to expand in these months will be immediately. Then there's a reflection moment where you're going to have to ask some questions, and then we're full on into the new life and the new beingness, the recognition. And this is really beautiful. So hang in there. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm excited about this next 6 months, because it's both radical expansion, but radical responsibility, taking responsibility for the things and the people and the ideas about self that we have hidden, tossed away, both positive, both light and dark, right? The positive aspects of self, some of you are doing like imposter syndrome, and the negative aspects of self, not wanting to see some of the ways in which you've been expressing as God in a negative way. Okay, there's value on both sides, and they are together. That is going to bring this expansion, and you guys really don't see quite how magnificent and truly large and beautiful this is, but you're going to be getting the inspiration. You're going to be getting the call, and that's like right away. This is right after this eclipse. Okay, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to what others see in you. Pay attention to things that in your heart just feel like it's the right thing to do for yourself, because that is where the information is. That is where the light is and the dark is. That is where the design, the magnetic, in a human design is a magnetic monopole. You have to have the magnetism and the electric running through your system. And that creates the personality that we, it creates our design that we bring to the world. Okay, so Love you guys. I'm going to try to edit this video so that it's somewhat cohesive, because it's had to be in 2 to 3 different shots, but really grateful for you. And that's another message, is even if it takes 2 to 3 different times, even if you feel like you failed, even if you feel like you had to chuck it and start again, that's okay, because you're expanding what you already know. So nothing is lost here. Okay. It's just expanding, and it's expanding onto how you want to be in this new life of yours. Really love this energy. Okay. Make sure that you're working with your network. Have that heart and curiosity of a child. Have that heart of the student. Have that intimacy. Use your intuition. Employ compassion, and put your structures in place. Okay. Be disciplined. This is the balance of the masculine and feminine. So love you guys. I love you completely. And until next time, aloha.